Okay, welcome to ASAS. Today we'll be looking at how to make objects glow, and in this picture we have a picture of a model holding a flower, and also at the background you can see other flowers, just like she's in a beautiful garden. Alright, so without further ado, let's get right into it. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to duplicate this layer, and then I'm just going to unlock this one and then hide it. Now we're going to group this one. Just create a group and then drag this into it, the group, so that we can turn it off and turn it on. So now after doing that we make a selection of this flower, and the easiest way is to use color range. Go have orange on the background. Now what you need to do is to select the lighter areas of the image, because if you select something dark, it's going to pick up other part of our body, like the hair and the background of this grasses. So I just want only the flower. So hold down shift and then click the lighter part of the flowers. You can see our lips is also getting selected. So that is because our lips is the same color with the flower, but we're going to correct that in a minute. So after doing that, you can also select some part of the background and just try and make sure that you don't select other part, because it's going to select the whole image. Now increase the fuzziness a little bit, and then we're done. You press OK. Now after pressing OK, it's going to make a selection of the flower. Now what you need to do is to press Ctrl J. Now hit Ctrl J on your keyboard, and then you are going to see this. Now we make selection of our lips, of which we don't want our lips and some part of our hair and also some part of our body. So we are going to grab the eraser tool, and then you are going to erase some parts you don't need. So in case your brush is not showing, it's showing like this, it's not showing the circle, you can press cap lock, it's going to bring it out. So now I'm going to erase some part that I don't need, yes, like that, and then some part of our body here. So just clean some places you likely selected. So okay, so we're good, and then I'm going to turn back this layer on. So what you need to do now, since you have the selection of this layer, you are going to duplicate the selection. Let's rename this one flower, and now this one let's name model, or the model, so we know what we're doing. Now this flower, you're going to duplicate it and then turn it into a smart object, so that whatever we do, we can also always edit it indestructible. Now after doing that, you go to filter. First of all, turn it to screen. Put the blending mode in screen. Now duplicate it again, and then you go to filter, Gaussian blur, and then you blur it a little, like this. Then click 1.2 when you see that the edges are feathered out. You click OK, and then you have that. So you click Ctrl, duplicate this layer again. Let's close Ctrl J, and then open it. Then double click on Gaussian blur, and then increase the radius to somewhere about 10. Let's put it at 10. Click OK. Ctrl J. So we're here now. Double click, and then increase the feather to about 100. Click OK. Ctrl J again to duplicate the layer, and then increase the layer to about, let's say, 300, and then we click OK. Now what we just did, we just make the flower glow. So you can turn off this and turn this on. So we went from here to here. Now let's turn the layer back on, the group layer back on, and then open it. So open it on top of the, okay, let's close it. On top of the group layer, you're going to create an adjustment layer, of which is going to be hue and saturation, and then you are going to, whatever you do, you clip it to the group, and then you can change the colors of what you're seeing like this. So you can see you are changing the colors. Now it's actually affecting everything. Why? Because the photo is selected also. If I open the group, you can see that the photo of the model is also there. So if I turn it back on and I switch and turn the layer off and I change this, it's going to affect only the flowers. So I'm going to reset this, and then this picture of this model, I'm going to drag it out of the group and place it under. So I turn it back on. Now it's going to affect just the group only. So you can see picture changing. So I'm going to select a very calm color. I think yellow is fine, but you can use yours, but whichever one you want to use. So after that, we've succeeded in making the flower glow. For this one, we are just going to decrease the exposure so that it looks as if the model is it's a night and not a day. So come here, adjustment layer, and then click on exposure. Now it's going to bring out your exposure panel. So you will decrease the exposure and the gamma. So decrease the exposure till you get something you want, and also going to decrease so it looks looks yes like this. So let's zoom out and let's see how we set this. So take it down, not all the way down, but just something to tell you that can show the reflection. Okay, so we are good with this. We can always come back and change it. So close it. So we went from this to this. Now the next thing you are going to do is to make the some part of our hair, this exposure not to affect some part of our body. So you are going to click on the black and white, click on the brush, change it to black and white, and then we have the white background. What we're going to do, we're going to paint black on it so that some of our face is going to be bright. So now if we look, our cheek and our underbone, our jaw needs to be brighter. So we decrease the flow to 5. Your brush should be the hardness soft 0%, and then you paint on our cheek. Okay, we're still on white. Change the foreground color to black, and then so that we can see what's going on. Okay, so let's still reduce the brush size to 1 so that we can get what we want. Now I'm going to paint here. Just keep painting and create a realistic image, light image. Now some part of here won't show, so just toggle between X and then paint. And cheekbone is gonna have some bright light even here, so it's gonna affect this place and here. Good. Then a forehead. Yeah. So we're gonna have something like this under our eyebrow. Yes. Then at the side. Now this one is going to, typically our face should be glowing. Some part of our face. So our eyes is very important. Good. Now we have that. Now we could move to our hair and then paint on our hair. So you can also use blending option, to get this correctly. Okay, so we're good. We'll clean, make this place bright. some part of her hair brighter. Okay, like this. So I'll keep doing that out of her hair and the background. So we have this now. Let's just make her face bright. Yeah. Then if you check, her neck needs to be bright also. Okay, so we have something like this around her neck, bright part of her neck. Her cheek needs to be brighter. Yeah, needs to be brighter. Okay, so we're good like this. No, just know the way light works. So we have that, our ear and our hair. So now zoom out and then paint on our cheek, on our, yes. Now our shoulders, most important, the light's gonna get there. So we have this, we have this. Make the brush bigger. Now for the stem of the flower, you're gonna make it bright too, and on top of our ends decrease the flow and then paint on top of our ends, because the light from the flower is going to get it, then there just a little bit like this. Now this place also, light is going to get here and onto our clothes. So this place just a little bit like that. So we have this one on our clothes, yeah, on our clothes. Still gonna get bright our clothes. So just, you know, make the image look realistic. We're gonna have some reflection on our ends here, and also on our ends here. So you know, you can take your time and make the image look right. So good. So that is that. Then zoom out. Good. Then our lips, don't forget to make it bright. Yes, like this. Okay, so now let's say we have the natural. Now on your background, the flowers also are going to be getting brighter onto their surrounding, like that. So let me increase the flow a little bit to 9 or 10. Okay, so we get this, this on our background. Just keep making it look natural. Now there's something we need to do also. A cap also needs to have so decrease the flow and then to 1%, and then paint on our cap like this, just a little bit. Good. Just something like that. Good. Now this also is going to get to the bottom like this, then this to the bottom like this. Just something to create, yeah, a realistic look. So I have something like this. Now don't forget also, make this place look, increase the size of the brush like 11, and then some places and make it show so that it gets like, it's like the reflection of light from other places coming to our hands. Now let's just leave it like that. So we're good. So what we need to do after doing that, you copy this hue and saturation letter, duplicate it, Ctrl J, and then you drag it under below this one. So you have something like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it off. Go back to the first hue and saturation, this one, and then increase the saturation to 100. Then I go back to this one and then increase the saturation to 100, not the exposure, sorry, 0. I mean the saturation, and then increase it to 100. So turn it back on, and then we're going to invert. Go back. We're going to invert the layer, Ctrl I. So now you're going to paint. If I just paint on our face where you see, we're going to paint. Select the brush tool and then change the color to white, foreground color to white, and then you paint over our face. So like this, decrease the size of the brush. Just paint, then we'll correct it later on, like this. So you can use blending mode to correct that. Over our body. So we'll have something like this on our hands. Okay, so click here, click here. Now there's one more thing you need to do, because the light isn't going to show in all of our body. So let's decrease the brush a little bit and then remove the light from some part of our ends, and then we'll do it with blending mode. So something like this. I'm going to remove it from our hair, but let's leave it. Now easiest way to do it, let me still paint more on my jaw and here. So I'm going to double click on the layer and bring up the blending mode option. So after bringing up the blending mode option, we remove the from the darkest part. So for on the underlaying layer, you do it like this, then hold down Alt and split this one, and then drag it out. Not too much. Take it back. So I have something like this. Okay, if you take it all the way up, it's not going to look as if it's having the brighter look, but take it down a little bit. Okay, now we're good, and then you click OK. So now you are actually going to make it look, take down the brush tool, and then by reducing the opacity at some areas, X, and then decrease so that we get rid of it. Some places it's looking too bright. Yeah, it's okay. Here it needs to be bright. Here it needs to be bright. So on top tone needs to be bright. Remove it from the top. Yeah, just add a little of the glow. It's okay. Here needs to be brighter. Okay, here don't needs to be brighter. So clean a little bit from my eyes. Paint a little. Okay, so we're good. Some places are too bright there. Okay, so now we're good. Now you can see some part of our hair is the flowers at the background, you know, shining through the back of our hair. So you can also remove this one. So but let's just get on with it. Now from this to this, so let's open the blending option in this style, and let's set this thing again. So we have it like this. Let's try and remove it from, okay, I don't want to remove it from our hair, I just want to remove it from the darker area. So I have something like this. Let's blend it in. Let's see for this one. Okay, take down this one. Nothing happening. Yeah, okay, we'll leave it. Let's see this. Okay, so that split it and then make the transition smoother. Okay, I guess it's okay like this, and then click OK. So I will have a smooth transition now. So now we still need to make the highlights glow more. So add a curve adjustment layer and then increase the curve just like this. Clip it. So I have something like this, and then you close it. Okay, so we're going to remove this from some parts of the image, not all the image, because it's not looking right. So double click also same way, and then we're going to set the blending mode. So Alt, let's try and see where we can. Okay, yeah, hold down Alt, split it, and then we're good. Take it down back a little. Okay, so we're still going to adjust it manually. Alt, okay, I just want it there. Okay, so take this a little bit back and then click OK. So it's not affecting side one effect. So we can reduce the opacity, and then we'll have something like this. But it needs to be brighter, like, you know, the way this is. So that is just it, how to make an object glow. So the final step I'm going to do, I'm going to we can also increase the brightness. Let's see. Okay, so I think it's too much, so let's decrease the fill to somewhere around there. Good. And let's decrease the fill of this one, hue and saturation. So I have something like this, natural bright looking light. So what I feel is make the brush bigger and then very soft. Yeah, black, and then I'm going to erase it just from here. The exposure tool, I'm also going to erase it. Okay, X. Like this. We're painting it white. Like this. I'm going to erase erase it a little bit from here too. Good. Now click this one. I'm also going to erase it from here. Decrease the brush size. So we're good. I'm going to increase it to 2, and then I'm going to press X. I'm going to remove it from this place. Okay, so I have something like this. So we're correcting the image. Increase the brush size, remove it from somewhere here. Good. So I have something like this. Increase the brush size. I'm going to put X and then add the fill to this place. For the exposure, turn it back on white. Okay, X, make this place visible. It's too much. Good. So we have this one. So this is how to make your object, to glow on the background. X. So you can also create some dramatic look at the back. Then come back to the group, and then see from here to here. So once we can group everything all together to the top, and then group it, and now we're through with the photo. So take a look at before. Let's take a look at before and after. Before and after. Alright, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, the notification button, and also share this video. Most importantly, don't forget to subscribe. See you in our next video. Thank you for watching. Take care.